Welcome to episode 10 of my YouTube series From Fitness Model to Pregnant. So this is what we look like. Roll the crop up, roll the shorts down. Admire my nice tan line. It's just like this perfect little basketball, hey? A couple of weeks ago, I was hit with, I don't even know what, for 4 days. Diarrhea, cramps, ligament pain, nerve pain, literally shooting down and up in the vagina, and extreme fatigue. In addition, little bub was just, throwing arms and legs and everything to the point I was like, please just keep still for a little bit. Like, it was making me feel sick. It was intense. All the pregnancy symptoms were coming at once. The body is prepping because he's coming out sometime soon and there's some work to be done here. So then I recover. I'm feeling good. And I'm like, you know what? I want to meet some other mums to be. What can I do to get social? I know I'm going to join pregnancy Pilates. So I rock up and I'm like, yeah, here I am, I'm gonna make some friends, and I'm doing the class. Classic me. When you are told to do something, whether it's push-ups, back squat, whatever, I will push myself to the core. So when we're there on the little Pilates reformer machine, clamshells. I do clamshells all the time. Anyway, clamshells with a band, and it's like a minute at a time. Can't say I've ever done a minute at a time. So we're doing the clamshells. Right? And then it's clam with leg out for maybe a minute. And then it's these little circles for maybe another minute. And then there's this pushing thing for maybe another minute. And I'm like, don't stop, don't give up, don't give up. I can see everyone else resting around me. I'm like, no, I'm gonna push, push, because that's what I do. Anyway, the next day I'm like, oh man, I'm so sore. I'm so sore. I can do it. That night, I was absolutely obliterated. You know those DOMs where you're like, ooh, I've done something. My entire back, from here to here, up my neck, had completely seized up. So I'm walking around the house literally like this because I'm in sheer agony. And that lasted till about Friday. So that was 5 days. For about a week and a half, things were a bit shit. Training. Now, back to the Pilates. Isn't it ironic that I have been throwing weights around, doing gymnastics, doing CrossFit, doing all this stuff, and my body has been totally okay. And then I go to one little pregnancy-specific Pilates class, and it messes me up. Training has definitely been a day-to-day basis sort of thing. I've kind of turned to full body sessions because, since that recovery from the Pilates session, I'm like, oh, maybe my recovery is not as good at this moment because there's a lot of other things going on. So I've turned to full body sessions. I have had a couple of moments in the last month of being just completely overwhelmed. I was in Big W and we were just looking at some baby things. I'm like, what is all this stuff? Like, I don't even know what these things are. And it just overwhelmed me to the point I'm like, I clearly am not prepared. I'm fighting tears because I'm just like, I am not ready for this. I just cried. Walking through Big W, tears streaming down my face. I snuck off to the pet section and stood in a corner until I could stop crying due to sheer overwhelming feelings. I just felt hopeless. But since then I was like, man, I really need to get some help. So downloaded an audiobook about sleep and have started this little kind of like course on everything after birth. Swaddles, sleep, burping, crying, all of the things, because otherwise, people say, oh, you will know. Well, I'm not a you will know wing it person. I'm like a give me structure. Tell me the things to do. give me a guideline so I have some kind of vague idea of where things are headed. I've done the work with the hypnobirthing for the labor and the giving birth. Now I'm trying to wrap my head around what happens after. So something that's been really helpful for me is the midwife visits that I've had. My midwife has really broken things down of what's to come, and I've learned a lot. My recent brain fillage of information, antenatal expressing. 36 weeks, that's where we're at now. Apparently you can express milk. When the midwife said that to me, she's like, you know, you can start antenatal expressing. I was like, huh? What now? I'm like, there's milk in there now that will come out? And she's like, yeah. So I'll teach you how to do it. She grabs this little crocheted nipple boob and starts showing me how to do it and gives me some diagrams. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird for me. Anyway, right now it's just colostrum. It's not actually milk. So it's like this yellowy looking liquid. And the whole purpose is if you can express this milk, look at me milking like a cow, you can have a storage of colostrum available if you struggle to breastfeed when you give birth. So for 3 or 4 days, you're only gonna have colostrum once the baby's born. And that's cool, the baby will drink that. The baby's belly is like the size of a tiny marble. If you can't breastfeed, we will have a stockpile of colostrum available. So I started doing this and I really hated it. I felt so uncomfortable and like literally almost felt queasy. Yes, there was achievement that it came out, the colostrum came out, but it was so confronting to me that this is happening. I can deal with the idea of a baby sucking on my boob, but me milking myself, I'm so uncomfortable with this and I actually felt a bit sick. Anyway, you do it and like maybe 1 or 2 drops comes out. And then the next night you do it again and a little bit more. The more you do it, it's like the more your body produces. So I think tonight's night 4. So that's pretty much it for the last 4 weeks. It's been full on, lots of body changes. There is so much fear within my soul of the unknown. I am so ashamed and embarrassed to admit that, but it's true. I know that there's going to be so much love. I know that that's a given, but the other stuff's all unknown and that's where the fear is. Yeah, look, ready for that life change. I wouldn't have put myself in this position if I wasn't. So here we go. My next episode may be before or after. I don't know. I was pretty convinced he was coming at 38 weeks, but look how high he is. He has not dropped. We're 36.5 weeks and he is like projecting that way. So who knows how long we're gonna be here. As always, thanks for watching.